Late in every financial cycle, the same illusion returns. Markets still look functional, prices still move, indexes still hold, and familiar words regain power: gold, bonds, protection, safety. This is when most people believe the danger is behind them. But historically, this is when it begins to shift. Not in prices, in behavior. Early in a cycle, safe havens are tools. They are boring by design. They exist to reduce volatility, not eliminate risk. Late in the cycle, they become something else. They become emotional exits. People no longer buy protection as part of a system. They buy it as a last defense. They are not reallocating capital. They are trying to escape uncertainty. And that difference matters more than any chart. Late cycle markets rarely collapse overnight. They fracture quietly. Trust thins. Liquidity becomes selective. Infrastructure starts to matter more than assets themselves. Gold doesn't fail in these moments. Treasuries don't suddenly disappear. Prices don't need to crash. What fails first is the wrapper. The platforms, the intermediaries, the promises built around fear. This is when safe stops meaning low risk and starts meaning no questions asked. Guaranteed liquidity, stable returns, protection without volatility, access without downside. These are not financial features, they are psychological products. Because late in the cycle, fear becomes crowded, and crowded fear is always monetized. This is why people break before markets do. Markets can stay irrational longer than most investors can stay solvent. But more importantly, markets don't feel fear. People do. Late in the cycle, people stop asking, "How does this work?" They ask, "Will I lose?" And when the primary goal becomes survival, judgment weakens. That's when timing replaces strategy. That's when trust replaces verification. That's when familiar assets become dangerous, not because of what they are, but because of how they're used. History is consistent here. In late cycles, losses rarely come from owning the wrong asset. They come from owning the right asset through the wrong structure. People don't lose money on gold. They lose money on leverage built around gold, on contracts disguised as metal, on liquidity that only exists in calm conditions. When volatility returns, those layers collapse. Not slowly, all at once. Markets absorb it and move on. People are left with statements, documents, and silence. This is why late-cycle safe havens don't destabilize markets. They destabilize trust. They expose how fragile confidence becomes when fear is shared, packaged, and sold at scale. The most dangerous phase of a cycle is not the crash. It's the moment when protection feels urgent. Because urgency kills patience, and patience is the only real hedge. Safe havens don't break markets. They break people who arrive when the storm is already underway. And the market doesn't punish them out of cruelty. It simply doesn't care.